What all is coming? Okay.
Total.
Please mute your phone. Yeah, Aruna, you can also mute your phone.
Yeah, Mataji.
Recording is started. Recording is
Yes,
started, right?
total.
So third canto, third chapter, 16th verse. एवं संचिन्त्य भगवान् स्वराज्ये स्थाप्य धर्मजम् नन्दयामास सुहृदा साधूनां वर्त्मदर्शयन्. The previous verse we saw that how the quarrel happened between the Yadus, the members of the family of Krishna, because this incident is going to happen. Krishna says, the day when I'm going to disappear, the day it's going to happen. Then this way, Lord is thinking. He has installed. Lord is thinking. He has installed Maharaj Yudhishthir, and he has installed Maharaj Yudhishthir because he is very ideal king, and he has given him the position of supreme control of the world. You want to show that how ideal administration happens. That what is given. Thapya Dharman, Dharmajam. So he has installed Maharaj Yudhishthir in his own kingdom because he wants to show that he is an ideal king. Uttarayam Druta Purvor Varshah Sadhava Himanyuna. Please write a message. Class has started. Ask everyone to join. Aruna, you should do this.
Mataji, both are not joining, no? Vrindavan Leela Mataji and Raksha has also put message.
Just put a message. There are other also. Uttarayam Purvor Varshah Sadhava Himanyuna Savai Dronyastra Samplushtah Punarbhagavata Tadaya. Now in the womb of Uttarayam Dhritaha Sadhu Abhimanyu. He is a descendant of Abhimanyu, he is son of Abhimanyu. And then Drauni Astra, Dronacharya's son Ashwathama. He has thrown Astra towards Uttara for destroying the womb. But then actually it was destroyed. There is given here. Samprushta, it was destroyed. But later it was protected. Again, second time it was protected. Initially it was destroyed by the weapon of the son of Drona. But second time, Lord protected the womb. The embryo of Kuru's descendant, begotten by the great hero Abhimanyu in the womb of Uttara, his wife was burnt. The weapon of that means the child was burnt actually. Still, the womb is burnt. But then how Lord protected? That is a greatness. Okay, these two are going to read the verses 16 and 17 and the purport.
Hare Krishna. Text 16. Evam sanchitya bhagavan swarajye sthapya dharmajam nandayamasa suhrada sadhunam vatma darshayan. Translation. Lord Krishna, thus thinking to himself, established Maharaja Yudhishthira in the position of supreme control of the world in order to show the ideal of administration on the path of piety. Text 17. Uttarayam drita puror vamsha sadvabhinmanyuna savai dronyastra samplushta punar bhagavata dritah. Translation. The embryo of Kuru's descendant, begotten by the great hero Abhimanyu, in the womb of Uttara, his wife, was burnt by the weapon of the son of Drona, but later he was again protected by the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The embryonic body of Parikshit, which was in formation after Uttara's pregnancy by Abhimanyu, the great hero, was burned by the Brahmastra of Ashwathama, but a second body was given by the Lord within the womb, and thus the descendant of Puru was saved. This incident is the direct proof that the body and the living entity, the spiritual spark, are different. When the living entity takes shelter in the womb of a woman through the injection of the semen of a man, there is an emulsification of the man's and the woman's discharges, and thus a body is formed the size of a pea, gradually developing into a complete body. But if the developing embryo is destroyed in some way or other, the living entity has to take shelter in another body or in the womb of another woman. The particular living entity, but if the developing embryo is destroyed in some way or the other, the living entity has to take shelter in another body or in the womb of another woman. The particular living entity who was selected to be the descendant of Maharaja Puru or the Pandavas was not an ordinary living entity, but by the superior will of the Lord, he was destined to be the successor of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Therefore, when Ashwathama destroyed the embryo of Maharaja Parikshit, the Lord, by his own internal potency, entered into the womb of Uttara by his plenary portion just to give audience to the would-be Maharaja Parikshit, who was in great danger. By his appearance within the womb, the Lord encouraged the child and gave him complete protection in a new body by his omnipotency. By his power of omnipresence, he was present both inside and outside of Uttara and other members of the Pandava family. Hare Krishna.
So Lord, he said the body is formed like a size of a pea peanut. Gradually, it takes a nice body. Now, if the developing embryo is lost, then the living entity has to go to another or the womb of another. So when Ashwathama threw the weapon, what happened? The womb was almost destroyed. The Lord protected Jaya Jaya Dharmasutam Ashwamedhais Soti Shamam Anujai Rakshan Rene Krishnam Anugatah Ayajat, made to perform Dharma Sutam by the son of Dharma, that is Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Lord induced Ashwamedha Yajna performed by Yudhishthira Maharaj. Three Ashwamedha. And then P Shamam Anujaha. So then he was assisted by his younger brothers, Rakshan Reme. This way, Lord protected, Lord induced the son of Dharma, the Yudhishthira, to perform three Ashwamedha. And the Yudhishthira Maharaj constantly following Krishna. Whatever he says, he was doing in this way. He was protected and he enjoyed the earth, assisted by his younger. So whatever we do, we should do because Krishna, when Krishna tells this has to be done, so how Krishna will tell us? Krishna will tell us through a spiritual master. So Krishna is present high also in the words of a spiritual master. If we do that, yes, we experience happiness. Now here Lord is inducing him to perform three yajnas. And three yajnas have been done. Ashwamedha yajna is protected and enjoy the earth. Okay. Bindu, please read. Bindu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Text 18. Ayachayat dharma sutam ashwamedhe stribhir vibhuhu sopi sham anujay rakshan reme krishnam anuvratah. Translation. The Supreme Lord induced the son of Dharma to perform 3 horse sacrifices, and Maharaja Yudhishthira, constantly following Krishna, the personality of God, protected and enjoyed the earth, assisted by his younger brothers. Purport. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the ideal monarchical representative of the earth because he was a constant follower of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. As stated in the Vedas, Ishopanishad, the Lord is the proprietor of the entire manifested cosmic creation, which presents a chance for the conditioned souls to revive their eternal relationship with the Lord and thus go back to Godhead, back home. The whole system of the material world is arranged with that program and plan. Anyone who violates the plan is punished by the law of nature, which is acting by the direction of the Supreme Lord. Maharaja Yudhishthira was installed on the throne of the earth as a representative of the Lord. The king is always expected to be the representative of the Lord. Perfect monarchy necessitates representation of the supreme will of the Lord, and Maharaja Yudhishthira was the ideal monarch on the supreme principle. Both the king and the subjects were happy in the discharge of worldly duties, and thus protection of the citizens and enjoyment of natural life with full cooperation of material nature followed in the reign of Maharaja Yudhishthira and his worthy descendants like Maharaja Parikshit. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So in the 19th verse now, Krishna has 6 qualities in full. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasa Shriya, Jnana Vairagya Yascheva Shannam Bhagaiti. Jnana and Vairagya, that is the 5th and 6th quality, has been emphasized here. Krishna has Jnana, Krishna has Vairagya. Everything belongs to him. At the same time, he does not touch it. He is the Bhoktaram, who is the enjoyer of everything. That is why he is God. Why is he God? Because he is Bhoktaram. Why is he Purusha? Because he is Bhoktaram. Only he can enjoy. At the same time, he is detached. It's not so easy to enjoy also, at the same time be detached also. Everything belongs to him. Everything is for his pleasure. Bhoktaram mekti tapsam sarvaloka maheshwar. Surdam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mricchati. We even know this. And he is the one who is the Bhoktaram. That means everything belongs to him. The results of karma, the results of yoga, the results of jnana. Everything is he is only the Bhoktaram. At the same time, he has no attachment. That is Vairagya has been emphasized. And he has knowledge of everything because he is omnipresent. He's omniscient, omnipresent. He is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma. He knows everything. So that is what is given in the 19th verse. Bhagavan api vishwatma lokaveda padhanutah kamansi sheve dvarvatyam asaktah sankyam astitah. Last time, asaktah. He is detached. That is Vairagya. Enjoys, at the same time is detached. Because in the beginning, Bhagavan has been put. Bhagavan means where 6 qualities in full. 5th and 6th has been mentioned here. Sankyam. He has all the knowledge. Jnana Vairagya. Jnana and Vairagya has been emphasized. So he is Bhagavan. But at the same time, he is there, a super soul. And still, why should he follow everything? To set an example. Loka Veda Patha Anugaha. Pathanugaha. He is following whatever the customary Vedic rules are there. He is following that. whatever it is required for the necessities of life, all these Vedic rituals has been followed. And in this way, he is there in the city of Dwarka. He is Asaktaha also, at the same time Sakyam Astika. Okay? Okay, Aruna, you read? Gyan Prabhu, if you're
Text
not
19.
traveling, then you can also read the next verse. If you're traveling, no problem.
Text 19. भगवानपि विश्वात्मा लोकवेदपथानुग कामांसि शेवे द्वार कामांसि शेवे द्वारवत्यां सक्तसाङ्ख्यमास्थितः असक्तसाङ्ख्यमास्थितः. Translation. Simultaneously, the personality of Godhead enjoyed life in the city of Dwaraka, strictly in conformity with the Vedic customs of the society. He was situated in detachment and knowledge as enunciated by the Sankhya system of philosophy. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While Maharaja Yudhishthira was the emperor of the earth, Lord Sri Krishna was the king of Dwarka and was known as Dwarkadisha. Like other subordinate kings, he was under the regime of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Although Lord Krishna is the supreme emperor of the entire creation, while he was on this earth, he never violated the principles of the Vedic injunctions because they are the guide for human life. Regulated human life according to the Vedic principles, which are based on the system of knowledge called Sankhya philosophy, is a real way of enjoyment of the necessities of life. Without such knowledge, detachment, and custom, the so called human civilization is no more than an animal society of eat, drink, and be merry and enjoy. The Lord was acting freely as he willed, yet by his practical example, he taught not to lead a life which goes against the principles of detachment and knowledge. Attainment of knowledge and detachment, as very elaborately discussed in Sankhya philosophy, is a real perfection of life. Knowledge means to know that the mission of the human form of life is to end all the miseries of material existence, and that in spite of having to fulfill the bodily necessities in a regulated way, one must be detached from such animal life. Fulfilling the demands of the body is animal life, and fulfilling the mission of spirit soul is the human mission. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So next is what are the four important sweetness which Krishna has. So they say that Krishna is very sweet. Aishwarasya, Samagrasya, Veeryasya, Yashasa, Shriya. Shriya means very, very sweet. The sweetness is in his glance. The sweetness is in his smile. The sweetness is in his action. Sweetness is in his talks. He is so sweet. That sweetness has been displayed. And this sweetness is relished by everyone, especially the women of Dwarka. That is his wives. They are not Maya Shakti, they are his Chit Shakti, internal potency. स्निग्धस्मितावलोकेन वाचा पीयूषकल्पमा कल्पया चरित्रेण वद्येन श्रीनिकेतन चात्मना. With his transcendental body, he is residing in Sriniketan, in the house of goddess of fortune. That means with him who is residing, Lakshmi is residing. They come in Chitta Shakti. And then Piyusha Kalpaya. What is the Piyusha Kalpaya? What is the nectar? He is gentle, so gentle. Gentle in his words, gentle in his actions. He has a wonderful smile, a wonderful glance, vacha, wonderful words. So gentle in behavior and wonderful glance, wonderful smile, and wonderful words. All four are there. Piyusha Kalpaya. It is compared to Piyush. There is a drink known as Piyush. In this material world also there is a drink known as Piyush. When dahi is mixed with Shrikhand, that is Piyush. Generally in summers, people drink Piyush. That gives more fullness. Charitrena, his character is so wonderful. Anavadyena is without any. Though he is with 16,108 wives, giving pleasure to everyone. At the same time, his character is so wonderful. This type of enjoyment only Krishna can do. His character is also wonderful. At the same time, he is dealing very nicely with his wives. At the same time, in the night, he thinks about the gopis. Actually, Krishna gives pleasure to everyone. Krishna doesn't want anything. He is Atmaram. Atmaramaschamane. Even the Atmaram, his devotees are also Atmaram. But when they hear the qualities of Krishna, they become attracted to him. But real Atmaram, Atmatripta is Krishna. By his dealings with the devotees, especially his Chit Shakti, he is giving pleasure to them. He is giving pleasure by his behavior to everyone in Dwarka. Just imagine his glance is so nice, his form is so beautiful, his smile is so wonderful, his talk is so wonderful, his dealings are so beautiful, wonderful. Who will not be attracted to Krishna? That is why one who always serves Krishna possesses also these qualities. One who is a pure devotee, he also possesses these qualities. They are unattached to anyone, to everyone. At the same time, they deal with people just to give pleasure to them and to get them attracted to Krishna. Okay? Bindu, can you read?
Hare
Wait,
Krishna
wait.
Mataji.
You can read
Gyan
even this.
Prabhu.
Gyan Prabhu, I think, is traveling. You read it.
Okay. Text 20. Nikta स्मितावलोकेन वाचा पीयूषकल्पया चरित्रेणान्वद्येन श्रीनिकेतनचात्मना. Translation. He was there in his transcendental body, the residence of the goddess of fortune. With his usual gentle and sweetly smiling face, his nectarian words, and his flawless character. Purport. In the previous verse, it is described that the Lord Krishna, being situated in the truths of the Sankhya philosophy, is detached from all kinds of matter. In the present verse, it is described that he is the residence of the goddess of fortune. These two things are not at all contradictory. Lord Krishna is detached from the variegatedness of the inferior nature, but he is in eternal, blissful enjoyment of the spiritual nature or his internal potency. One who has a poor fund of knowledge cannot understand this distinction between the external and internal potencies. In Bhagavad Gita, the internal potency is described as the Para Prakriti. In the Vishnu Puran, also the internal potency of Vishnu is described as the Para Shakti. The Lord is never detached from the association of Parashakti. This Parashakti and her manifestations are described in the Brahma Samhita 5.37 as Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavi. The Lord is eternally joyful and cognizant in the taste derived from such transcendental bliss. Negation of the variegatedness of the inferior energy does not necessitate negation of the positive transcendental bliss of the spiritual world. Therefore, the Lord's gentleness, his smile, his character, and everything related to him are all transcendental. Such manifestations of the internal potency are the reality of which the material shadow is only a temporary representation from which everyone with proper knowledge must be detached. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Mm. So though having everything, Lord is detached. Next, the first verse. Imam lokam amuchaiva ramayan sukaran yadun preme shanadaya datta shana stri shana saurdaha. In this earth, and in even the other worlds also, Ramayan, so pleasing. Krishna's these four qualities are so pleasing. Especially the Yadus, they were enjoying with Krishna. And even Krishna is enjoying. He's enjoying the pastimes in this world and other worlds, especially in the association of Yadu dynasty. And leisurely at night, Shanadaya. Shana means leisurely. He's enjoying the friendship with the by conjugal love with women. That's how when Narada visits Dwarka, he sees Krishna in everyone's palace at the same time. 16,108 queens, and at the same time, Krishna is present with everyone, being very leisurely, giving leisurely association and conjugal love with every queen. So, in this way, there he showed special attachment also. Now, see, he's detached also at the same time, special attachment. He is having special attachment to the Yadus. He is having special attachment. 16,108 queens. And they all wait when the night time will come, when we can leisurely serve Lord. So people think that they come from office and they should spend time at night and waste the time at night. In fact, they should sleep early and wake up early morning to serve Krishna. Then only they can understand what is this Raman thing. Because Krishna did, we should also not do. Krishna can do. That is reason for him is night. For us, night is actually a military rule. Just sleep early and wake up early. Early to bed, early to rise. We are teaching once from childhood. We teach early to bed, early to rise. But what happens when we become big? We think that we can spend the night whatever way we want. To the children we teach, but elders also should follow. Even if you are late to sleep, you should be early to wake up. But that will spoil the health. You should have good sleep also. Tahara vihara sitra cheshta sakaram sapnavibodhas. Yogo bhavati. One has to be having a proper, appropriate sleep also. Okay. Now, Krishna for leisure time, what? Night time. 16,000 fields. Okay, read.
Text 21. Imam lokamamum chaiva ramayan sutaram yadun reme shana daya dattat shana stri shana saurdaha. Translation: The Lord enjoyed his pastimes both in this world and in other worlds, higher planets, specifically in the association of Yadu dynasty. At leisure hours offered by night, he enjoyed the friendship of conjugal love with women. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord enjoyed in this world with his pure devotees, although he is the personality of Godhead and is transcendental to all material attachment, he nevertheless exhibited much attachment for his pure devotees on earth, as well as for the demigods who engage in his service in the heavenly planets as powerful delegated directors in the management of all material activities. He displayed special attachment for his family members, the Yadus, as well as for his 16,000 wives who had the opportunity to meet him in the leisure hours of night. All these attachments of the Lord are manifestations of his internal potency, of which the external potency is only a shadow representation. In the Skanda Purana, Prabhasa Khanda, Prabhasakhanda, in the topics between Lord Shiva and Gauri, there is confirmation of his internal potential manifestations. There is mention of the Lord's meeting with 16,000 covered damsels. Although he is the Hamsa, transcendental, super soul, and maintainer of all living entities, the 16,000 covered damsels are a display of 16 varieties of internal potencies. This will be more elaborately explained in the 10th canto. It is said that the Lord Krishna is just like the moon, and the internal potential damsels are like the stars around the moon. Hare Krishna.
Okay, next is 22 verse. My voice is coming?
Yes, we can hear Mataji.
Plus 22. तस्यैवं रममाणस्य संवत्सरगणान् बहून् गृहमेधेषु योगेषु विराग समजायत. He was enjoying for many years in his household life. Yogeshu viragaha samjayat. So he developed detachment even for enjoying in this way with his queens. He showed complete detachment from the activities of household work, though following the rules of karma yoga continuously for many years. So here it is given in Srila Krishna Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. He showed sama jayata, that is indifference to what? Viraga. Path of karma typified by Rajoguna in performing household activities and to the enjoyable items offered by such household activities. This continued at all times. Like I said, at this time it became very evident. Guneshu asangaha viraga. Detachment means to associate with the gunas. Because of this definition, there is no question of such detachment in his pastimes with Rukmini and others. Those pastimes are Shuddha Sattva and beyond the material. So even though household life has been spoken, it is not having that sexual life. That type of grahamedeshu was not there. But they are all his internal potency. They are not there. It is, these pastimes are actually Shuddha Sattva pastimes. Shuddha Tattva. Shuddha Sattva. They are all beyond the three gunas. Completely beyond the three gunas. Samvatsara, every year. Sam means Lord. Vatsa means children. Samvatsara. Ra means Ramante. Samvatsara. Ra means Ramante. So every year, Lord is to give happiness to children. This is a Samvatsara. Samvatsara, write this meaning. Sam means Lord. Vatsa means children. All are children of Lord. Ra means Reve, Ramante. In this way, Lord gives Ananda. So his Ananda is beyond the three modes of material nature. That is why one should not think, oh, he is doing his household life. That means in the night time, sexual. But sexual activities are the topmost enjoyment in this material world. But in Shuddha Sattva, this type of activities based on the gunas is not there. Rajaguna activities are not there. Bindu read.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Tas tasaivam rama रममाणस्य संवत्सरगणान् बहून् ग्रहमेधेषु योगेषु विरागः समजायत. Translation: The Lord was thus engaged in household life for many, many years, but at last his detachment was ephemeral, sex life was fully manifested. Purport: Even though the Lord is never attached to any kind of material sex life, as the universal teacher, he remained a householder for many, many years, just to teach others how one should live in householder life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the word samajayata means fully exhibited. In all his activities, while present on the earth, the Lord exhibited detachment. This was fully displayed when he wanted to teach by example that one should not remain attached to household life for all the days of one's life. One should naturally develop detachment as a matter of course. The Lord's detachment from household life does not indicate detachment from his eternal associates, the transcendental covered themselves. But the Lord desired to end his so called attachment to the three modes of material nature. He can never be detached from the service of his transcendental associates like Rukmini and other goddess of fortune. As described in the Brahma Samhita 5.29, Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. Hare Krishna.
How can he be detached with others? Everything he can detach, but he cannot detach himself from Lakshmi. Because their relationship is not based on the material modes. Lakshmi always serves Narayana. And that service is not based on material modes. The relationship is also not based on material modes. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. Lakshmi always serves Krishna. दैवाधिनेषु कामेषु दैवाधीन स्वयं पुमान् को विश्रम्भेत योगेन योगेश्वरम् अनुव्रतः. So every living entity is controlled by supernatural force. So that is how he enjoys his senses. Kameshu. Daivadina is controlled by supernatural force. So Puman means the living entity. Kaha Vishrambhena. So only by becoming a devotee of Krishna, he can understand this. Or it is not easy to have faith in Krishna. Kaha Kam is how he can develop faith without serving Krishna. Because everybody wants to be enjoyed. Everybody wants to be enjoyed. Everybody wants to enjoy. Then what is devotional service? Giving one's object of enjoyment to Krishna. So real object of enjoyment, whatever object of enjoyment is that, give it to Krishna. It is Krishna who is the enjoyer. This can be understood only when he serves Lord. So here, this verse is explaining about Lord's enjoyment in his activities. What man, or what to speak of the Lord, knowing himself to be a jiva object, to be a jiva subject to the control of karma, surrendering to the Lord in Bhakti Yoga, will have faith in material objects and desires which produce karma. If a person surrenders by Bhakti Yoga, if the Lord has attachment from his actions which are not subject to karma, what person will have affection for his own actions which produce karma? If he practices Bhakti Yoga, he surrenders to the Lord of Yoga. So even though Karma Yoga is there, a devotee can easily get detached from the Karma Yoga if he understands Bhuktaram is Krishna. Bhuktara, Yajna, Tapasa. Two things are given. Yajna means which is done by Karma Yogis. Tapasa means which is done by Jnanis. So Yogis, sorry, Jnanis, Karmis and Jnanis, they know Bhuktaram is Krishna. Then only one, a jiva also can be detached from this Karma Yoga. Even though performing Karma Yoga, he is detached from the results. Okay,
Text 23. दैवादीनेषु कामेषु दैवादीनः स्वयं को विश्रम्भेत योगेन योगेश्वरमनुव्रतः. Translation. Every living entity is controlled by a supernatural force, and thus his sense enjoyment is also under the control of the supernatural force. No one, therefore, can put his faith in Lord Krishna's transcendental sense activities, but one who has become a devotee of the Lord by rendering devotional service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, no one can understand the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord. The same fact is herein corroborated. No one but one who is enlightened by the devotional service of the Lord can understand the difference between the Lord's activities and those of others who are controlled by the supernatural force. The sense enjoyment of all animals, men, and demigods within the purview of the material universe is controlled by the supernatural force called the Prakriti or Daivi Maya. No one is independent in obtaining sense enjoyment, and everyone in this material world is after sense enjoyment. Persons who are themselves under the control of supernatural power cannot believe that Lord Krishna is under any control beyond himself in the matter of sense enjoyment. They cannot understand that his senses are transcendental. In the Brahma Samhita, the Lord's senses are described as omnipotent. That is, with any sense he can perform the activities of the other senses. One who has limited senses cannot believe that the Lord can eat by his transcendental power of hearing and perform the act of sex life by simply seeing. The controlled living entity cannot even dream of such sense activities in his conditional life. But simply by the activities of Bhakti Yoga, he can understand that the Lord and his activities are always transcendental. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 8.55, Bhaktya mamabhijanati yavanyaschaśmi tatvatah. One cannot know even a fraction of the activities of the Lord if he is not a pure devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Maam abhijanati amanischas vitapatah. Tato maam pratishyatva. The verse, please open the verse 18.55. Only by bhakti a person can understand Krishna. Bhaktya mam. Mam means me, Krishna says. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only by devotion a person can know Krishna. To know Krishna is not so easy. And very clearly it has been said, Tato mam tatvato gyato. And in this way, thereafter, knowing me in truth, he understands the tattva also. Vishate tadarantaram. Then he enters the abode of Lord. Only by bhakti. Okay, stop here. So, tomorrow morning there will be no class. As discussed. Panchaka Prarudasha Pasi Gobirachaka Kanyapavamito.
Hare Krishna.